Welcome to another video in which I'll be sharing with you the Everyday Witch Tarot and Everyday Witch Oracle by Deborah Blake and Elizabeth Alba. So here we have the Everyday Witch Tarot. This is a beautiful deck made by Llewellyn, which comes in a really solid box with a beautiful magnetic clip opening. I absolutely adore the packaging for this deck. When you open it, inside you will find a beautiful guidebook and the deck, which has a lovely ribbon so you can pull the deck out. So here we have the guidebook for the Everyday Witch. This is one of my favourite guidebooks. It's just really friendly, colourful, and I've used it so much so that I've actually put my own little tab stops in it to separate the major and minor arcana suits. The book itself is about 252 pages long. And as you can see in the contents, it has a chapter about the deck and how to use it and how to do readings. And then it has some common questions and answers and tarot extras in another chapter. And then following that, each card in the major arcana and the minor arcana has a double page spread on information about its meaning, and then we have a conclusion. So if I go to one of the major arcana cards, for example, the Fool, you can see the image there of the Fool and the information. And it always tells you the information about the card and then at the end, things to consider. Now, some of the cards in this book also give you note pages, so you can write down notes upon readings or notes upon the card. If we go to the minor arcana and have a look at the Eight of Swords, you can see there the image and the information, but there isn't a notes page for that one. So not all of them have it, but quite a few do. So it's a beautiful book and certainly one that I would recommend. It's a fabulous book. Say if you're a beginner reader and you're just buying your first tarot deck, this is a fabulous accompaniment to that. So here is the tarot deck for the Everyday Witch. As you can see, the backs aren't really reversible, but that's all right. I tend not to do reversed readings anyway. That's fine for me. They are really bold and I love the backs. I love the stars, but I'm not so keen on these white outlines. I don't think they're really needed. Anyway, that's just my kind of thoughts upon the matter. This deck isn't edged. I actually have had two sets of this tarot deck because the first one that I bought, I decided that I would edge with navy blue Sharpie. But the card stock for these cards, although it's really nice card stock, it's slightly thin. And if you are planning on edging this deck, please don't, because it bleeds. And it bled so much that it spoilt my cards and I ended up rebuying the tarot deck. Anyway, it certainly shows that I enjoy this deck and I like it enough to buy a replacement copy. So without further ado, I will take you through the Everyday Witch. Here we have the Fool. Such a beautiful card. This deck is just marvellous. The meanings are right there in the images. The story tells itself for each card, as you can see. And most of the images obviously are witches, but certainly not all wearing hats as you might expect. Here is the Magician. How beautiful is this card? Love it. The little cat on the table watching the magician at work. It's just so sweet. The High Priestess. This is one of my favourite cards. I love that the cat's playing with the runes on the table. Like while she's trying to do some divination, the cat's just like playing away. It's so beautiful. And the Empress. And the Emperor with the Alsatian dog down there, you know, like his little master. I think it's just, oh, it's just beautiful. And the Hierophant. And this is like a yoga class, but with the teacher there at the front, that traditional teacher kind of stance, you know. It's a really nice way of doing the Hierophant card. And the Lovers. And the Chariot. And Strength. How beautiful is that, with a little cat by the lion as well. There's always cats in the cards. And the Hermit. And the Wheel of Fortune. It's not my favourite Wheel of Fortune. I don't really see the Wheel of Fortune as a casino game there, like, you know, the spin the board game, but still it's a lovely idea. Justice, which is just peeping out from under her blindfold there. And the Hanged Man. Quite relaxed, just hanging from the broomstick there. Death. Not my favourite death card, I will be honest, but still very effective. And there's still a cat there, look. Temperance. Standing in the tree pose there. Again, another yoga card. The Devil. It's kind of a scary card, this, really, for a devil, you know, this temptation, and especially with children. It's certainly different. And the Tower. I love the look on her face here. It's like, yeah, everything's falling apart, but I'm cool. And the Star. Such a beautiful star card. And the Moon. Look at the water. Look at the reflection for the cat. He's not just a cat, he's a panther. Or maybe a jaguar. Either way, he's a bigger cat. And the most beautiful sunshine card. This is one of my favourite tarot cards for the sun. It's just so lovely. And this one here for Judgment, this is the one that's featured on the cover of the actual artwork for the box and the packaging. And the World. Throwing your hats off, everything's content, super happy. So that's the major arcana. Here's the minor arcana. This is the Wands. Ace of Wands. And the Two of Wands. I love that card, isn't it beautiful? And the Three of Wands. And the Four. This is such a wonderful card, such a lovely, beautiful celebratory card. And the Five of Wands. Hubble bubble tile and trouble indeed. And the Six of Wands. And then we have the Seven. And the Eight. And the Nine. Yeah, see, this just tells it so well as it is. It's like totally had enough, but she's still there battling away. And the 10, carrying all them brooms up that hill, that burden and that struggle. And then we have the Page. How lovely is this card with a knapsack over her shoulder? And the Knight, going to fight the dragon. And the Queen, literally sat with the dragon quite happily. And the King. Beautiful card. So the Suit of Cups. Here we have the Ace. And the Two of Cups. This is another of my favourite tarot cards for the Two of Cups. I love this. The idea of sat down with a glass of wine at the beach, totally relaxed in each other's company. It's just lovely. And the Three of Cups, the Sisterhood. And what a fantastic card for the Four of Cups. It just speaks volumes, doesn't it? And a beautiful, beautiful Five of Cups. I think this is one of my favourite Five of Cups cards as well. This deck it is a favourite of mine. 6. And the 7. I love that she's like gone to the bar, if you will, and there's just too much to choose from. And the 8, walking away. And the 9. How beautiful is this card for a 9 of Cups? Isn't it just fab? It's just lovely. And the 10. Again, another lovely card. The imagery in this deck is superb. The Page. And the Knight. And the Queen. I love this card. And the King. And you can see all the cups there have got like shell references and water references. And then we have the swords. Ace. The Two of Swords. I like this card. Kind of throwing your darts and hoping you get them in the right place. The Three of Swords, the journal there, look, and the heart cushion with them swords through it. And the Four of Swords. Such a super card for the Four of Swords to show that respite. 5. The spell's gone wrong. And the 6. And the 7. 8. Isn't that beautiful? But she's only bound by her own ties, look. And the 9. All those nightmares. And the 10. The Page. And the Knight. And the Queen. And the King. And then we have the Pentacles. How glorious is this image? Look at the little cat there cleaning himself. And the 2. And the 3. And the 4. He's literally sat on his coins there, isn't he? And the 5. I love this 5. I don't know why. It almost looks Christmassy. It's the snow and the kind of lovely church-style windows, if you will. The 6. And the 7. And the 8. And the 9. I love this card. It's so lovely. She looks so happy and relaxed with a wine. And what I suspect might be kind of... Actually, it might be meatballs. I always see wine and cheese, but that's just my brain tricking me. She looks really happy there, though, under a tree, which is... It's like a tree from Animal Crossing with all the coins and fruit. It's brilliant. And the 10. And then we have the Page. And the Knight. And the Queen. And finally the King. So, this is the Everyday Witch Tarot. Please do not edge this deck if you get it, because it doesn't edge very well. Also, be really careful when you're buying it to make sure that you are getting an original copy, as there are so many unofficial copies floating about, sadly. There is the option of having a standard size deck, like myself, or you can now buy the Everyday Witch Mini, which I'm hoping I might get at some point. You can also get this deck as an app on your phone. So if that's something you'd be interested in, it's certainly worth looking at. Okay, so let's have a look at the Oracle. This really does complement the tarot card deck. And I often use it side by side. So this comes in a lovely cardboard box. The cards are slightly larger than the tarot deck. So if I show you one of the tarot cards, you can see there they are larger. So, a lovely little box and a nice little guidebook. The guidebook is in total 98 pages long. And it's just black and white, and it tells you a bit about each of the oracle cards. So you have at the beginning a list of all the cards, and then it gives you a little introduction on how to use the cards as an oracle deck, and then how the cards can be divided and progress. And then you even have some sample spreads. And then it just goes on to the cards and the meanings. So here are the cards, which I will take you through now. They're in no particular order. I haven't ordered them according to the book, so I'll just show you them one by one. Okay, so here we go. We have Ground and Center. strength and resilience. And you can see the imagery is really similar to that in the tarot deck. It's all done by Elizabeth. And now we have Make a Move. How beautiful is this card? Listening to wisdom. Ooh. Hibernation and regeneration. Meditation for peace and serenity. Connect with Gaia. Earth magic. Healing waters. Go with the flow. Rebirth and reinvention. I love this card, it's so beautiful. Cleansing body and spirit. Affirmation for acceptance. Meditation for creativity. Speak your mind. Air magic. Water magic. Learn from life. Affirmation for positive change. Affirmation for healing the heart. Meditation for clarity. Sun and stars. How gorgeous is this card? Change and progress. Tears of joy and sadness. Give in to passion. Give love. Inspiration and courage. Gratitude and thanks. This card is just so beautiful. Imagine and envision. Meditation to dig deep. Prayers and wishes. Transformation and change. Accept love. I absolutely adore this card. I love all the hearts and the colours. It's just beautiful. Joy and delight. Seasonal harvest. Prosperity and abundance. Affirmation for growth. Plant the seeds. Follow your dreams. And finally we have fire magic. So this is the Everyday Witch Oracle, which, as I said, is slightly larger than the Everyday Witch Tarot. Therefore, it is a little tricky to shuffle. So I often actually overhand shuffle it like this. Anyway, it's a beautiful deck which complements the tarot so wonderfully. It says here, improve your craft with magic cats, pointed hats and spellwork galore, combining charming images of witches in their everyday lives with brilliant wisdom that can be used for divination, magic and calls to action. Everyday Witch Oracle makes it easy to find the answers and inspiration you need. And that's absolutely right. I often use these cards alongside the tarot cards when I'm doing a tarot reading. And the little guidebook, it gives you so much information on each card. So if we go to one, for example, for hibernation and regeneration, sometimes you just need to pull back from the world for a while, rest, regroup, recharge, so you can return stronger and more capable of dealing with whatever awaits you outside the cave. And it gives you action. It tells you some divination about what the card suggests, and then it gives you the magic. So there's action, divination, and magic for each of the cards, okay? This book is really helpful, and it gives you so much more information on these cards. And they are just the perfect complement to the Everyday Witch Tarot. So this is the Everyday Witch Tarot and the Everyday Witch Oracle. Both can be found on Amazon or through Book Depository. Whilst these are wonderful storage boxes, I actually created my own tarot pouch to go with the Everyday Witch Tarot. This is what I store these cards in rather than the box, and these tend to live in the box. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching my video. I hope you found it informative. I know there are so many walkthroughs of the Everyday Witch, but I did want to put the Oracle and the Tarot together to show you side by side what they look like, and also to explain to you just how effective they are for readings. Okay, thanks for watching. Take care.